Hello everyone, AutoChamp Wandelen over here, and I have a big question to ask all of you. Is this Lotus Emeya going to give the Porsche Taycan sleepless nights? Let me explain to you all something very interesting. A very long time ago, and for many decades, Lotus has been known for their lightweight, sporty coupes that would dominate the racetracks. Or more like, they were quite popular on the racetracks. But then recently, the Lotus brand received a massive makeover thanks to Geely. And you know what this means? We're seeing components from Volvo. So imagine a sports car with the safety feature of a Volvo. Oh my gosh, how amazing is that? Except this isn't really a Volvo P1800 in disguise. This is a Lotus with some cool techs. Now, when it comes to Chinese car manufacturers, it is true they've had a problem with being a bit generic on their design. Their designs would always look like a mishmash from other car manufacturers, but this is not the case for this Lotus. This looks like an amazing alternative to the Porsche Taycan. But I'm gonna make a confession to you all. My heart still lies with the Porsche Taycan. I love the Porsche Taycan. Now, when it comes to the exterior design of the Lotus Emeya, I start to think that this is an airplane that's become road-friendly and lost its wings because it has massive air vents. Now, these are air vents that you would see in those sports cars that are worth, I don't know, beyond 500,000 euros. But Lotus gives it to this Emeya for only 157,000 euros. That's right, this car costs only 157,000 euros. Similar price range to the Porsche Taycan, if I'm being honest, because it does start at 110,000 euros, and so does the Porsche Taycan, give or take. The front design looks amazing. I like those twin daytime running lights you get. They look awesome. Now, if these are daytime running lights or not, I'm not exactly sure, or if they're also your indicators, but they look like a modernized version of original Lotus headlights. The Lotus identity is there. There's no doubt about that. Now, the fact that you have another pair of lightings underneath it kind of reminds me of what the Geely group did with Lynk Co. I know that the Lynk Co has something similar going on down there. Carbon onto the side view mirror, but in this case, it's a side view camera, which is a mirror basically for the driver. And then carbon over here, which is a bit random in my opinion, because this is again for another camera over there. I believe this would be the camera for the side indicators or when parking. Whatever it is very nice. It's a very similar concept to what we've seen on Tesla. All four doors get keyless entry and pop-out door handles. And you will not believe what's hidden here. If we open the doors, you'll see it's written Pioneers since 1984. Now, towards the rear, I can see where this Lotus will give the Porsche Taycan sleepless nights. Look at the design of it. This looks amazing. Continuous rear lights. That is awesome. Although, to be honest, the idea of having continuous rear lights started off as a Porsche thing, but then everybody started adopting this concept. I am not a fan of this idea. I don't know what is it about Lotus, but their 5-spoke wheels these days look awesome. And you also get frameless windows. Look at this. Just like what you would expect to have on a coupe, everyone. Now, when it comes to the exterior design, I absolutely love it. But then, when it comes to the interior, I did notice some problems. Let's talk about the interior right now. Now, over to the interior of this Lotus Emeya. It looks amazing. I think they should change this name to Lotus Amazing, not Emeya. But anyways, let's get down to the interior. Okay. So, when it comes to the equipment list, I'm quite impressed with this interior, although I did mention that there was some problems I noticed. I'm going to talk about the problems right now. First of all, let's start on a positive note. Both front seats get this electric seating adjustment, and for the door, you get soft close. That's amazing. And seating memory, this car just adjusted the interior for me. That's awesome. I like that, although I did not really need it. And then I like the pallets you get on the steering wheel. The pallets are really for driving mode. Just the only thing I noticed, there was a bit of a contradiction, because I like how for the exterior, you see they try to go all sporty, right? For the interior, you get this carbon fiber right here, but this has to be the first time I've ever seen in a car that carbon fiber has this like straight appearance to it, you see? It's all straight. And then you get a tiny instrument cluster. The exact same philosophy in the Volvo EX90. And I'm going to be honest with you all, I do not like this concept. Me, personally, I love massive instrument clusters, just like what you've seen in a BMW or in an Audi or in a Mercedes. You get the point. You get where I'm at. So it's the tiny instrument cluster is a bit of a letdown for me personally. but it's not going to be a big deal to everyone. Some people are just going to love it. When it comes to the rest of the interior, it looks a bit on the generic side. And I've noticed the same type of interior in the other car manufacturers, like BYD in particular. It looks a bit generic. And this is where I think the Porsche Taycan takes the trophy, because at least the interior of the Porsche Taycan has a very strong Porsche identity. You get this wireless telephone recharge sitting right there, and then underneath you get additional storage. Now, additional storage underneath is not something I'm not really a fan of, but then, hey, I have to get used to it. But what I'm really surprised about is the fact that they put the cup holders right here. So imagine I have a drink over here. How am I supposed to lean my arm onto the armrest? Yeah, this is something I have to get used to. Otherwise, or maybe I'm not even meant to lean my arm there. I'm meant to have both hands on the steering wheel, right? And then over here, you get a center console storage. That's nice. And then to access the glove box, I'm assuming you'll have to do it through the infotainment system. Again, same principle like what we saw in the Volvo EX90, or I think it's this button right here. Oh, got it. Now to open the door, I was a bit lost, but there's actually a button right here. And just in front of the front seat passenger, you also get a tiny narrow screen right there. Now, personally, I think it's a bit pointless, but then it does look cool. I like the concept. I like this continuous line you get over there. And I'm not really a fan of having this little screen right here. I prefer the driver having everything because I prefer driver-centric interiors. But then, hey, this is not bad at all, guys. This is nice. I like this trim you get right here. And then this over here would be your infotainment system. Look at this 3D diagram you get of your car. Why did I just say diagram? I mean, more like 3D view. It even shows which door has opened and which door is closed. And I think you can, oh, you can adjust the spoiler from here. Oh my goodness, this is so cool. I can adjust the spoiler, everyone. I would keep it like that. I would keep it like that. I prefer having the spoiler all the way down. But this is such a cool concept, guys. I can adjust the spoiler straight away from the interior of this car. And this is very nice. Now, if I go back, let's see the other controls. What else I can do? Oh, I can open the boot door from here, and I can... what can I do with this? Okay, I'm not exactly sure what this is, but I think this is... Oh, I think this is for the panoramic roof, everyone. This is for the panoramic roof. Now, over to the rear seat. This is where things get even more interesting. Let's see. Okay, so this is really, really nice. I like how you get this view of the driver's seat and the front seat passenger's seat. It's got a really sporty seat, and all four doors get soft close. This is good. Oh, this is nice. This is nice. So the leg room can be a bit limited, but then that again depends on the seating adjustment of the driver and the front seat passenger. Knee room is good. My headroom is decent. It's good. Although I'm just going to tell you all right now, just like the Porsche Taycan, you're not really getting these cars for practicality or for family use. Although you could if you need to, because you get ISOFIX. That's great. And you get this armrest over here with two cup holders, nicely detailed. I'd get a detailed climate control and then adjustments. This is great. I get seating adjustments over here for the rear seat passenger, and I like the touch of Alcantara that are lined onto the B pillar and throughout the ceiling. That's very nice, and you get this nice high quality handle over here, very good. And you get this mini pocket over there, which I think is pointless to have, but then it is cute nonetheless. All right, everyone, now it's time to check out the boot space of the Lotus Eletre. Now the boot space is quite nice. It's very deep but very narrow, I'd say, and at the same time it's very similar to what I've seen in the Porsche Taycan. So honestly, the Lotus Emeya is not really missing out on much. That's good. I like how you get the additional space underneath for your emergency kit and tether points on the side. This is very nice, and you even get a trailer hitch hook and a 12-volt socket. Now the only thing to watch out for is that the body paint sticks out very proudly over here. So in long terms, just be careful when putting luggages in and out of the Lotus. Now underneath the bonnet, you have an electric motor that produces 612 horsepower. But in terms of storage space, you get this little storage space over here, which is quite narrow, but I would not really be using it for storage because I do not want to be opening the bonnet too often, especially in the public. Yeah, I prefer opening it discreetly when nobody's watching. All right, everyone, here's my conclusion of the Lotus Emeya. And this brings me to the big question. Does it give the Porsche Taycan sleepless nights? For me personally, maybe I'm biased because I'm a Porsche Taycan fan. But then if we take a step back and look at the big picture, in many senses, it's a good alternative to the Porsche Taycan, because the Porsche Taycan, many people have argued how the Porsche Taycan is not very much of a real Porsche. They say that the real Porsche is the Model 911 or the Boxster. Me personally, I don't really care about those minor details. For me, the Porsche Taycan looks like a Porsche, end of story. But then on the other side of the scale, it is true that the Porsche Taycan is quite saturated. A lot of people talk about it, whereas this Lotus Emeya is an interesting alternative, and it looks quite stylish, especially with the black wheels, the black alloys, everyone. That does look nice. And especially this dual-tone body paint you get. So the body paint over here with the black tone on the roof, that looks amazing. And it is quite techy, everyone. But then, to be fair, the techy aspect is expected for vehicles of today's generation, and this has been the case with many car manufacturers, so that part is no surprise. Does it have what it takes to give the Porsche Taycan sleepless nights? I have to say yes, it does. For me personally, I think the Porsche Taycan is the best, but that's my personal choice. But if we have to think in a non-biased way, I'm afraid the answer is the Lotus Emeya can put a big fight with the Porsche Taycan. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment in the comment section below sharing your thoughts of this Lotus Emeya and what's it like compared to the Porsche Taycan and other competitors.